guys, welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I am Candice Thompson. To my loyal listeners and viewers, thank you for coming back. To my new viewers and listeners, The Struggle, the podcast where I would normally talk to my funny friends about things they're struggling with, but since we've been in quarantine for the better part of this whole entire year, everyone's struggling with the same thing. So I wanted to just make you guys laugh and talk about topical things with my friends. So that's what we're doing. If you have not subscribed, make sure you do that. We're on all podcast platforms. I'm also now posting my videos on my personal YouTube channel. I'll be posting that link, so make sure you go and subscribe there. Rate and review us on iTunes. And last but not least, if you are watching this and listening to this and enjoying this, tell somebody. Pay it forward. Let somebody know. You can find me just like Candice on social media. Now I'm going to introduce my co-host, who's already laughing, and I'm not sure why. I feel like it's a dick move right now. I feel like he's laughing at me for something. Let's find out. Here's my co-host, Mal Hall.
Hey, everybody. I'm not laughing at you, Candice. I'm still high from last night.
And we'll get to that. But plug your shoe. I want to hear a little bit more about that as well.
My website is malhall.com, at malhall on social medias, and malhall TV on YouTube. Candice, who is our guest?
Oh, I'm very excited to have this gentleman. I don't know if that was offensive. I know comedians often don't get referred to as gentlemen. But this guy is definitely one of the more non-threatening male comedians that I've had the pleasure of working with. So I think he might actually appreciate that descriptor. Here we have the hilarious Sean O'Connor.
Oh man, it's so great to be here. Yeah, low T, what up? I got the lowest T. Yeah, I don't know how I'm a dad, but I became one. Just like I don't know. That's you know what? I'm glad that people think I'm non-threatening. Like or no, I'm non-threatening. Think sounds like there's a secret life to me.
Yeah.
He's non-threatening by day, but at night,
watch
out, ladies. So ridiculous. Where can people find you online, Sean?
Twitter, Instagram, Sean O'Cons. That's pretty much it. Oh, and I every Friday night I do a charity thing on Twitch on holdthephone.tv or whatever. I don't know anything about Twitch, but it's there, and you could see me play a game.
That's the one I did, right?
You did.
It was like months ago. I mean, it's insane. That seems like so long ago.
I know. Well, we were planning on only doing it for 2 months, and then we just keep fucking up. Like we're just gonna. 2020 didn't happen. It's not a real year. Like I think next year should count that. Like
for sure, it's just a do-over.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're giving the money to charity, so that's good.
I know. It definitely started in like the right way, but I think we're gonna in another month we're gonna have to start pocketing some. So,
my charity.
Yeah, my co-host Jace is now like outside of like a trash can on fire.
We need this money. We can donate a portion of the proceeds.
A portion's like $3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need to know how much you're actually donating. Just say a portion.
Yeah, a portion.
Yeah.
That could be just like it.
Yeah. They always say too, like every little bit counts. So just give a little bit. It still counts.
It's true. If you're doing it, you said you're doing it monthly or weekly? It's weekly.
Weekly. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's dumb that we're not just pocketing it. But you know what? I think it makes us good people. I'm gonna roll with this gentleman thing. I'm gonna start wearing suits everywhere. I'm gonna. 14's gonna turn me into Paul Feig.
We've all changed in quarantine. I think that might be a good move for you. Sean, you and I, the first time, I don't remember the first time we met. And have you guys met before, Mal and Sean? Have you guys met, or is this the first time?
I don't know.
I mean, I think maybe like at the Improv Lab a long time ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like you guys would have or should have been cool with one another. I think you guys would get along.
Yeah, we both hang out in the non-threatening comedian area.
Yeah.
Of the comedy club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say we're the exact opposite of Brian Callen and the cauliflower ear guy.
The comedians with no assault allegations. You guys have a designated area, bring them over here. Women feel free to go in there as well. Wear any crop tops, leave your nipples out. They won't know anything. It's fine. It's a safe space.
It's a safe place. You can have your titties out, and I'll maintain eye contact. Just see how nice of a guy I am.
I won't even notice because I'm too busy looking at the floor.
It's like you guys. It's like the non-threatening / gay male comics. Like we don't really know. It's the same area though. We just feel women
I want to look so bad, but I also know that I have to respect you, so I'm gonna look in your eyes.
But Sean and I can't remember when you and I met, but you were my boss for a hot minute earlier this year.
And then like quarantine was like this dynamic does not work. Like COVID decided that it needed to end. We all need to go back to normal.
Yeah,
Like you're
so
too powerful, Candice. Like I should never.
It was me. I summoned all of this. I was like, something's not right. But no, you came in because they replaced our original head writer with Sean. It was in February, right? Wasn't it February?
Yeah. February, yeah.
And then he was there literally for like a month.
Yeah,
maybe a month and a half, and then quarantine.
I just got comfortable. Like I was like finally like, oh man, like it's all working out. Like I feel like I know everyone. I know how to talk to everyone now. And then they were like, yeah, we're not coming in anymore.
Yeah, go home. Stay home for the year.
Yeah. I think my office still has your plant.
It does, and that wasn't even my plant. I just adopted it from someone else in the office. But then the office that I was in didn't have any windows, and I was like, "This is not."
Yeah, no. I have to assume that office now looks like when they started playing Jumanji and Jumanji, where like it all just like the trees started
forest.
Yeah.
It's like what was that? Little Shop of Horror, where it's just now it's giant.
Yeah.
A couple of janitors since we've been there.
Just like one random bottle of chemicals accidentally tipped over. Slowly made its way to the plant. Now it's a super plant.
It took the COVID vaccine down. It's got 3 heads. I miss you guys terribly, but I'm sure you're now on Lily Singh's show, right? She has a new sketch show. Is that correct?
Well, we finished that already. So we're done with that, and now it's like back to just doing nothing. Yeah, like.
What are you talking about? You're on my podcast right now.
Yeah.
This pays 6 figures.
Yeah, no, I know, and I love the paycheck. Like when I saw that clear and I logged into Zoom, I was like, this is great. But yeah, no, I find it very, very difficult to do things on Zoom. I'm like terrible at Zoom. I don't have a desk at my house, so like immediately it's impossible for me to work. When I was working on that, I threw my back out from one day working on Zoom from like hunching over. Yeah, I don't know.
You need one of the standing desks.
I do, and that's what I told my wife is that like I'm so much better standing now. I don't know, like I feel like I think
I taught me how to stand, you guys.
Yeah. Like right now I'm sitting on my child's bed, which is like the cheapest one at IKEA. It is not made for an adult body to be sitting on. Like I feel my spine turning to dust.
That's hilarious.
I've shopped at IKEA, not recently. I've had some bad experiences I had a dresser from there one time that just collapsed. Like,
Yeah.
The outside structure of it was fine, but the baseboards in the actual drawers could not hold the amount of clothing that I had in it, and just and then when that one fell, the next one fell, and I was just like, oh,
Domino
effect for sure.
Yeah, no, because I think like the average Swedish person owns like 4 outfits.
T-shirts.
Like, yeah, and they're all like those
Lightweight
just like
fabric.
yes, lightweight fabric. Like if you put anything more than like just like 4 white and black striped shirts in there, it's just gonna tumble. Yeah.
No, we're not meant to hold any type of denim.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Are you an IKEA person, Mal?
Only for the kitchen glassware, because it's really high quality and it's very cheap.
Oh,
Like,
that's good to know.
For the same the same dish in a Pyrex is like, $40 or $50 more, and it's like $6 at IKEA.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it is true because if you've ever cut yourself with a Pyrex, that is like a lifelong scar. If you cut yourself with an IKEA thing, like it's a Band-Aid and you're done.
Your skin heals in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, normally I blow my own glass. That's one of my habits and hobbies I picked up in quarantine is blowing glass.
My new quarantine hobby is I've learned everything about weed. I grew one weed plant, and now I know way too much about weed.
Well, speaking of weed, you mentioned last night you went a little bit too hard with some weed. Sean, are you a weed smoker?
No, because I'm too anxious. I used to smoke a lot of weed in high school, and then one time we did this thing, like the first time I ever did a vaporizer was in my friend's attic where he built like a teepee, and we were like, let's just smoke this for 2 hours straight to see what happens. And like, I'm not even kidding. I very much remember I forgot how to swallow, and I looked in the mirror and I saw my dad, and I was done. I was like,
oh my gosh!
I had to swallow and saw his dad in the mirror.
Like I forgot how to swallow, and then I convinced myself that the only way to swallow was to like drink Coca-Cola, and I drank 2 liters to try to remind myself how to swallow. So then I had like caffeine pumping my heart while also like it was. So like I've smoked since then, but like every time if I go a little too hard, it is like my life crumbles.
Yeah. I made the mistake yesterday of trying to keep up with my buddy who smokes every day, multiple times. He's like a functioning stoner.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't even feel high yet. And I was like, what the fuck? I took 4 hits off of this joint and I was perfect for like the whole night. But he was smoking more, and I felt like it was rude if I didn't hit it again. So I just kept getting more high, and I was just like, why am I doing this to myself? Same situation where I was standing there and I was like, dude, you need to walk over there. And I was like, well, I don't know how to get my legs started. So I'm just gonna stand here for a while till we remember how to do that.
And you were smoking your weed? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're making good stuff. You have a high quality product.
It's good enough for me, Sean. Good enough for me.
He's like, it's good enough for someone who knows nothing about weed.
Yeah.
What's something, because I don't know a lot about weed either. Give me one thing that you've learned since you've grown weed.
It's very tedious to from harvest to what we buy at the dispensary. That process is like super tedious, like trimming the leaves off of the buds, and then like it has to dry a certain way and then get cured after that, which like the buds get stored in a certain way.
Why aren't you just paying Mexicans to do that?
Yeah. That's what dispensaries do.
I'm doing this on my own. I'm socially distanced from, well, I guess I could just have, I don't know. Did
you decide to do this because of like the pandemic?
No. I was gifted like a clone, like a starter plant right before the pandemic. And so I just planted it at my mom's house. And like it got to the point where, holy shit, this is a giant weed bush. Like I've never been around this much weed before. And so I was like, I should sort of learn how to take care of this thing, and then I'll have free weed. at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So now
But you're
like
gonna
yesterday,
sell it too, right?
yeah. My mom is like, you need to get some green from that green, and I'm like,
No, seriously, can't you? What do you have to do? You get a license? I don't know what you have, or just do it old school. You have to do it old
Yeah.
school and just put it in your jacket. And
hey,
Yeah, so something I learned in like growing up was you just give it to like a bad 13-year-old and make him stand at a park.
and then give him a portion of the proceeds.
Did we just break down how to become a drug dealer?
Yes.
I think so. It's way easier. Like that's what I like.
I'm
Any
the
movie,
13-year-old.
any movie about a drug dealer, I'm like, yeah, of course. They're like the dumbest people on earth. Like it's the easiest.
Of course
Like,
it's easy.
Like you just have to just pretend in your head that you're not going to get caught, and it just works out.
It works out. It's fine.
Yeah.
I almost started selling weed in college.
What?
And when I say almost, I mean me and my friend were like, we should sell weed because no one would ever suspect us. And she was like, you're right about that. Because and we didn't know anything. Like we could count on one hand how many times that we had smoked ourselves.
Yeah.
But when we did do it, we did have a really fun time. And we were like, why don't we just sell weed? We would be great at this because no one would ever suspect us of doing it.
We can retire young.
Yeah, that's as far as the conversation.
That was, by the way, something I had a realization about like maybe 4 years ago is I had a boss who was like just smoke pot all day long. And he told me, he's like, the biggest mistake people make when they're smoking weed is they never know when to stop. Like, and he's like, so because I was telling him that I don't have a good time smoking weed, he's like, well, that's because you're smoking too much. Like, if you take a hit and then stop, you'll probably love weed.
But the saying is, puff, puff, pass, not puff, stop, sir.
Exactly. That's the thing. Is every like they don't like there needs to be like a TV show that teaches people how to smoke weed the proper amount.
Proper way.
Yeah, like responsible weed smoking, because like there's those like pens that like you hit it and then it buzzes when you got the hit. And like I did that and I was like, that doesn't feel like enough.
And you still ignored it. So it sounds like that television show that you're just talking about would also not work. You would still you would be in disbelief that this person knows what they're talking about.
Kind of. But I think if you had like, like your Fauci, like a Fauci of weed smoking rather than like
Snoop Dogg.
With Snoop Dogg makes it look too casual. But like the continuing to do it, that like that in my head, I'm like, that's how you do it. It's like a cigarette. There's a logical end, and it's when it's done.
You need someone who looks like a scientific professional, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if Neil deGrasse Tyson was like smoking weed and like put it out, you're like, that makes perfect sense. Like I'm believing you. You got a space vest on. Like,
what about Bill Nye? Would you trust his weed advice?
Oh, totally. Like anyone with a bow tie, I'm trusting. But like when Snoop Dogg is like doing it like it's a Camel Light, like I'm like. In my head, I'm like, that's the proper amount. Like I need someone to be like, no, stop here.
Well, I understand that like totally. Like when I just did an edible not that long ago, and I was like, and
today?
No, not today.
Oh.
No, like
what?
not,
Like
yeah,
it's
no.
gonna
I meant
kick
like
in
a
soon?
few weeks ago.
That's how you know I'm still a little high. I was like,
You're like,
oh, no, Candice, why would you do that before the podcast?
Before the podcast at like 10 o'clock in the morning. Candice, are you okay? Yeah, no, I did it with a friend, and there's always a point where I feel like I should be high, but I don't feel like I'm high. But then within 5 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm high. So I feel like when I start asking the question of, I don't think I'm high, am I high? That's around when I am actually becoming high.
Yeah,
that is, I think, like, that is the test. Is like once you start being like, when you're like, you don't know what your body is actually doing. That's when you know you're high.
That is it. That's what we should trust. We should trust ourselves and our uncertainty.
The uncertainty going like.
It's a patience game, though. To get to that point, you have to be patient, and that's where we mess up, though, because it's like, I don't feel high yet. Give me another one of those gummy bears.
We are impatient.
This needs to work faster.
The edible thing, like 4 years ago, I had a real bad experience with edibles, like where my friend made like Ritz peanut butter crackers with weed in them, and he was like, do you want one? And he's like a kind of guy who smokes weed all day long, and I'm the kind of guy who probably had edibles like 5 times ever. And I was like, yeah, give me one. And he gave me the same amount he gives himself, and I ate it, and we went to watch like the NFC playoffs at Hooters, and I was under the table at Hooters. Like,
table.
Yeah, I was like, I can't face these Hooter girls. I'm having a bad time.
You need a Sherpa. Like, your friends cannot be trusted. Like, they should know. They should know you're a novice with these things. So you need to have a guidance.
Yeah, I think I just need like a friend who understands I'm a different person. And then also I need a me who knows how to handle these things. Like, because at Hooters, I did this thing where I was like, I wonder how many like wings I could eat to like sober up, which like, it doesn't work the same as alcohol. Like,
no. He's like, now I'm just fat and high.
Yeah.
Now I just got the itis.
Who is that guy competing with to eat all those wings? Does that guy know that there's not active competition happening right now? Just stoned out of your mind. I think I could get one more.
Had an edible mishap. It wasn't the first time I'd done an edible, but it was like definitely early on. I think it was maybe like 2013 or some shit. And a friend had given me an edible, and it was just on the package, it said award-winning edible. And I was like, oh, that probably means just for the recipe. Like, it was like the recipe of it was a lemon bar. And I was like, oh, this is going to be delicious. And so I ate half of it. And you're supposed to just take like one little bite. And I was by myself, and I was talking to myself. I remember laying on my bed, and I was like, Candice, sit up. Giving myself directions, and I was like, Candice, sit up. And then I was like, talking to yourself? And I was like, oh my God, I am talking to myself. And I was saying all of this out loud. And I was like, but I am not talking to myself. And I remember having to go on Twitter to make sure that the world was still happening. Like, I was like, are people out there? Or is everybody experiencing what I'm experiencing right now? But even with that happening, I still was like, I'll do edibles again. And I did, and I have, but I just know now, yes, not to take, which is so, we talk about this all the time, like, it's fucked up. Don't put it in something delicious.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat the whole thing.
That's my biggest fear, because my wife and I, we've had pink Starburst edibles, like a whole package for like the last 2.5 years. And we haven't opened them because my fear is I'm going to eat one and be like, well, I'm going to eat the whole pack. Like, they're all pink Starburst. I don't know why.
Put it in the orange one. That's the worst flavor.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the whole point. Like, that's the whole point of shrooms, is like, you never want to eat more of them because they taste like fucking shit. Like,
and they make your stomach hurt.
Yeah, that's right. Like, that's the perfect thing. It's like, it's great, you have it, but you never want more. Like,
never want more. Because you're like, I had bubble guts for like 45 minutes. And just the knowledge of that it was growing on shit. It tastes bad. It gives you a stomach ache, and the knowledge of where it came from is like, okay, I'm good. I'm good for another like 2 months.
Yeah,
and then I'll want to do them again.
I mean, I'm gonna do it again, but
yeah, shrooms are the perfect one. Like, there's no way of overdoing it.
Here's the thing, though, is my friend Aston, I went hiking with him a few months ago, and he gave me shrooms in a way that I had never been served them before, which is dangerous because it didn't get a stomach ache and you couldn't taste it. He did something to it. He put it in like a shot of like lemon juice, and you just take it like a shot, and you had like none of the effects. It was the perfect amount, and we just had a great hiking experience. But I was like, that's dangerous, because I could see myself doing 3 more of those the rest of the day.
Just give me another
Oh
pop of
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I don't even know what he had. Cheesecloth, and he was putting the shrooms in the cheesecloth and then straining it, and then it came in a liquid. It was like a little vial, and I was just thinking, it was like, it was beautiful.
Oh man, he should probably open something up around LA. I got secret pizza from somebody's apartment yesterday. If they were doing shroom shots, like
I saw you post that. I was like, secret pizza?
secret pizza, it's incredible. It's like the best pizza I've had in LA. It's amazing. But like you go to somebody's apartment and they like put the pizza on a chair outside of like their gate, and then like there's no contact. But it's amazing. It's incredible.
It's pizza that they made at home?
The pizza that they made at home. Like I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be posting about it because I also want to eat it again.
Well, but I thought they were on Instagram, so they post about it. They know, like they have a public presence.
They have a public presence, but they don't have like a Yelp. They don't have a website. It's all done through Instagram. They make 12 pizzas every Saturday. You have to like log into their Excel spreadsheet to like sign up. Wow. It's so good though. It's amazing. Is it like incredible.
More expensive than regular pizza you would buy?
Yeah, so basically they lost their job during quarantine. This is what I've gathered. They lost their job during quarantine and then like have just this has been their hobby, and now they're like making money off of it. It's like $25 for a half and half, like half plain, half pepperoni. But it was kind of worth it. I'm not going to do it every week because it's
Of course.
But it was fucking awesome.
You know, I paid Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, what the funny thing about this, I didn't know that was like a thing that people are doing. But last night, I made pizza from scratch. I just bought like a wood-fired oven to make pizza.
Oh, nice.
And so I made pizza last night, and my friend was like, you should just start a thing in this little town where people come and buy your pizza because it's that good. Like you could just have a side hustle. And I was like, I don't know if that's like a thing that you can do. And then today you're like, I just bought a pizza from
a random stranger.
Yeah, you should. There's the place in LA, Burgers Never Say Die, which used to be in just somebody's backyard in East Hollywood. And I remember like going and waiting in line. You would wait in line for like 2 hours, and like somebody's apartment that they like shared with other people to go into the backyard to buy burgers. And like Tyler, the creator, was there. And it's like, what the fuck is happening?
What?
And now they're like the best burger place in LA. Like they have a store and stuff.
Wow. So when stand-up doesn't come back for me next year, I'll get my mustache back and just be slinging fucking pizzas.
Slinging that dough.
Yeah, you grow a big mustache, print it on the boxes, because that's the problem with the secret pizza place. It's just a plain white box. You brand that shit.
You need a logo.
You guys give them time. They're working on it. They just started a business last week. Speaking of being impatient, you assholes. You impatient.
That's so funny. Now I know I am high. These are all high things that are happening for me right now. We were talking about selling pizza, and then the next day he bought a pizza from a guy's house. It only happens when you're high.
I bought a pizza the other week that was like $27 for just one pizza, and it was just like a personal, but it's vegan. You know, I'm vegan, but it's the only vegan pizza I trust. I had told myself when I switched over to being vegan, I was like, I'm just gonna have to give up pizza because I had never had a vegan pizza that I actually liked. And this is the only, like, they nail it. It's so delicious. It's a place, I mean, you guys would like it. I'm not even bullshitting. Like, I know you're
Where?
It's called Pura Vida. It's on Santa Monica in West Hollywood. and it's an Italian restaurant, and then they opened up a pizzeria right next to it. But their food is delicious. Like, not meat eaters would go there, and I guarantee you would not be disappointed. It's so good.
That's great. Yeah, no, I'm very, very open to anything that like where I'm like, trick me. I want to be tricked most of the time.
You're like a dog when you wrap up a vitamin with bacon.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm super susceptible to that. Like Veggie Grill's buffalo wings were like all I ate at one job. Like, I love Veggie Grill's buffalo wings so much. Yeah. I'm like, because they taste like regular things. Like, if you told me, because they also, I think when I first started getting them, they were called like chicken wings. Like, yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is real chicken. I'm an idiot.
Wait, we were in, I don't think you would come on yet. We were in the writer's room at Lights Out, and somebody passed around a menu. I think it was for Veggie Grill, and people were pissed because they did not know that it was a vegan restaurant. So they ordered like a buffalo chicken sandwich thinking it was going to be, they liked it. But then when they found out after that it wasn't real chicken, they felt like they were bamboozled.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I'm like, I want like the crying game scenario where I'm tricked for years.
You had to take this whole time.
That's funny.
Man, I can't wait for you to start your pizza place.
Yeah, me either. I'm stoked. I'm going to feed my sourdough starter when I get home.
What's going to suck is that by the time you get home, because you're so high, you're going to forget you had this conversation. You're never going to start your business.
I just have to re-listen to the episode. What did we say to do?
I think it's a perfect time because you could be dealing weed from your pot plant and slinging pizzas.
Yeah. Eat this and then come back for 2 more pizzas.
It's the perfect time. Well, since we're talking about food, I did want to talk to you, Sean, because you've had a kind of a transformation in quarantine. I've seen your Instagram posts, and I'm like, man, Sean been working out and got his health on during quarantine, which is a complete opposite of what most people have been doing.
But it was the complete opposite of what I was doing too. Cause like at the beginning of quarantine, I was eating my feelings so hard, like where I'm just like, so basically I don't know what happened. I like a switch went off in my head. I quit smoking cause I was real worried about like, if I got COVID,
right?
Like I'm like, all right, so I have to quit smoking. So the first 2 weeks I quit smoking, I was like eating Buffalo Wild Wings every day, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is insane. So I truly woke up without even like saying anything to my wife. I like got up one morning and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for a walk, and like I went for a walk, and then every day I just started like eating healthier, and I'm like, what if I just like eat one healthy meal a day? And then I was like, what if I go on like a meal plan? So then I went on like a meal plan, and then like I started walking like 10 miles a day. Like,
oh my gosh.
I just changed everything about what I was doing for no reason whatsoever.
1% at a time is like the best way.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And it never crossed my mind to do that, because like every time I've ever tried to like lose weight, I would be like, I'd go to a gym or I'd like run every day, and then I'd get bored and like my body would hurt and I'd stop doing it. And this time I was like, I caught myself. I was doing like a couch to 5K, and I'm like, I'm doing it again. I'm gonna just start running, and it's not gonna work. And I broke my leg like 3 years ago playing baseball. So my knee hurts when it rains. So I stopped running, and I.
Okay, wait. Everything that you just said right now, if someone was listening to this podcast and didn't know you, they would think that you were 65 years old. How did you break your leg playing baseball of all the sports?
Okay. So basically what happened was I played in this unorganized league of baseball where it was like just like a bunch of like very like, you know, like filthy hipsters playing baseball. And this guy who was playing first base didn't know you don't stand on first base when you're covering it.
Yeah.
So I collided with him, and I had like a hairline fracture in my leg. And like an idiot, I didn't let it heal, and I continued to like play. Like I let it sit for 2 weeks, and then I continued to play because our team made it to the championship, and I didn't want to miss it.
I mean,
So
that's dedication.
Yeah, that is dedication. And then since then, when it rains, I feel it in my leg. Like,
no, I'm making fun of you, but I have the same issue. I played soccer when I was in high school, and it was my sophomore year, and we had a co-ed. It was during soccer camp during the summer, and it was co-ed. We had a scrimmage, and some dude on the opposing team kicked me right above my shin guard, and I fell to the ground because it hurt so bad, and then I sat out for like 20 minutes, and then I was like, Candice, you're a soldier, get back out there. So I went back out, finished the game, and afterwards, my dad comes to pick me up. I take off all my gear, and I look down, and there's a huge knot under my right knee. It looked like I had a third knee under my right knee. It was bad. Like I was like, Dad, stop the car. And he like pulled over, and he took me back. He's like, what do I do? Should we go to the hospital? I was like, well, just take me back to the coach and have whoever look at it. And the coach was like, oh, this just looks like a deep, deep contusion. He was like, ice it, elevate it, stay off it for like a few weeks. I did all that shit. And then the swelling eventually went down, but it was never like back to normal. Like there's still like a knot there. And so I remember I sprained my back doing something else, I think dance or something. So then like months later, school had started back up, like September or October. And I sprained my back, and I went to the hospital for that. And I was like, Doc, while you're here, could you just take a look down here? Like, he was like, he touched it. He goes, oh, when did you break your leg? It had been broken, and I had continued to walk around. So it was probably like a hairline or something that was small, but it was still, so there's like a calcium deposit on it now. And on, certain days I'll be like, it's a little achy down there. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so dumb. Cause like, I was like, I was maybe 30, maybe I was 31 when it happened, where I'm like, I'm far too old to be like, so dumb where I'm like, like I have to heal. And like, I wasn't even going to go to the doctor that night. I hurt my leg. Like I like dragged one of my leg to go to a fantasy football draft at a friend's house. Like, and then the next day I went to work wearing one shoe and one slipper, just dragging my leg to go sit at a desk. And then like, my boss was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's just going to heal. And then I showed it. It was like all black and blue. He's like, no, you got to go to a doctor. Like, he's like, I think I'll get in trouble from OSHA if you're here. So, like,
you're probably right. Because then something else could happen. And then at work and now they're at fault for sure. No, if I had been 30 when that happened, for sure, I would have had probably the same experience. But, I was like 15 or 16. So, I healed up. That was the only reason why I was like, walking, skipping around.
No, that's a bad coach move. That is like, like just rest it up.
Just elevate it, ice it. And then the dude that did it, it's so ridiculous. This dude like didn't even know that he broke my leg. And then, but also this, like he was the worst player of all. Like he was that guy that tried to play every sport and sucked at all of them. Like I didn't know why they continued to let him back on the team.
Well, that's the exact type of person that always hurts the other person.
Because they have no idea what they're doing.
No idea what they're doing. Like, I think of like everyone. Like, here's how I know that's true. Because on my 8th grade
I'm that person. No.
I am that person. On my 8th grade varsity basketball team, I gave myself a concussion trying to remove my tearaway pants.
No, you didn't.
I swear to God. I was getting put in, and I went to tear away my pants, and it pulled my whole body back.
Oh my Sean was real excited to get into the game.
So excited that I full on didn't tear my pants, but tore my whole body up in the sky to land.
And you
That
hit your
kid
head.
just did a backflip to get off the bench.
And he landed on his head.
Yeah. I've never seen a sitting backflip before, but that kid did it.
Well, at least yours was self-inflicted. At least you didn't hurt someone else in the process.
True, but I would have if I got in that game. I know I would.
You were like, well, that was the plan, but I didn't know I got myself out first.
The silver lining with your knee injury or with your leg injury, though, and it hurting when it's going to rain, is now you can
Predict the weather?
yeah, freak your son out like it's going to rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
You'll be like, what? Trust me. Old left leg is letting me know.
Well, luckily in
Storm's
LA,
coming.
it never rains.
Yeah, that's true.
Never rains here. Wait. Oh, so one more question about your transformation, your quarantine transformation. Are you happy with where you are right now? Are you going to maintain, or are you still do you have goals that you're trying to achieve?
Oh, I have goals. Like I have so basically I want to just see how much weight I can lose at this point.
That's awesome.
Like
Well, I mean, it is up to a certain point. Like, unless we see him like he's like anorexic and he looks like
How did Sean
Nightmare
die?
Before
Well, he
Christmas.
was trying to get to 10 pounds.
yeah. No, I in a way, like I'm just like I wanna just see. I know that I don't want to go like below 160 because I'm like 6'1". I know that's too much to lose, but I want to just see how. Yeah, I want to just see how much I can push it.
How much weight have you lost?
I've lost 70 pounds.
Gee,
Whoa.
wow.
Yeah, in like 4 or 5 months.
Wow. Holy
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
shit.
it's insane.
I've lost 35 pounds this year doing the same thing. Yeah.
Well, I can never tell when you say you fluctuate, but I could never tell. Like, you always look the same to me. And I don't know if it's just because I've only seen your torso really this year and your face is covered with hair.
I've
Yeah. It's hard to tell.
I'm trying to disguise all the weight loss. But yeah, I got to a point where I was just like, the weight that I'm at is unhealthy and I need to be healthy for my son. And so I was just like, I would normally, if I was going to try to lose weight, I would do all of it on the first day. Like, I got to start running. I'm going to start drinking these shakes.
Yep.
I'm going to start doing this, and then be over it, 4 days in when I'm just sore from the first day. And so I just did a gradual thing, just like you, 1%. And
Yeah.
And it made a world of difference. But then now I'm at this other part of my brain where like Chris Christie just beat COVID, and I'm like, and then he's like 400 pounds. Like, should we even be worried?
Trump too. He's like, he's not a thin person.
Yeah.
He's old and fat, and so it's like, oh.
Yeah, Chris Christie has asthma and he's like morbidly obese. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, what did I do this for? I had this great, like, finally I could have just eaten and not seen anybody. Like this, I could have like.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks now, Sean. I'm very upset, mainly because that you're doing this now. I mean, granted, we weren't working together very long, but me in the office, I was like one of the I was the only healthy eater everyone was like, well, fuck it. So now we could have shared this experience, but now.
We really could have. Like, and I feel like, although I feel like if I was working, there's no way I would have ever done this. So like.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It took quarantine to change. But you know what? I'm just happy that, like, because I know so many people that are struggling in quarantine. They're just like depressed, and it's like everyone had to. It's a mentality that you have to get in order to get to certain goals that you have. But like, I'm just happy to see both of you guys like saying, I'm going to do this, and regardless of what's happening in the world, and you're doing it. So like, that makes me happy.
70 pounds is a lot.
That's amazing.
Dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. And listen, 35 is nothing to sneeze at.
No, that's fantastic. You guys lost over 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Together, we've lost
You
over
fat
100
fucks. No. Fat pieces of shit.
Oh man, 5 months ago I would have cried after you said that.
I have had to stop talking about how much weight I'm losing to Carlene because as she's not as excited about it, like because she's
Oh, she's trying to lose weight?
no, she's not trying to lose weight, but I'm like, so never mind, let's move on. I'm too high for that.
This is too high for this conversation.
I'm too high to explain what I was trying to say.
Oh, well, I do know, and maybe and say if it agree if this is on the like what's her mentality, but like, is it because like harder for women to lose weight type situation?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Also, you guys are tall, so like you said you lost 70 pounds. I was like, what? And then you said you lost 30 pounds. I'm like, what? But then I'm like, you guys you carry it better because you have so much space to work with. Like I gained 3 pounds and it shows up on my neck immediately. You're like, Candice. With the vegan pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to talk about, so Fauci recently came out and said that we should not gather for Thanksgiving. How are we feeling about this? He said we shouldn't gather. It's Thanksgiving though. I don't know. I have feelings.
It makes sense to me.
It makes sense to me, but I also think there's a way to gather. To do it. In my head, we just did this thing that like really, so I have like my wife and I's best couple friend, like they're taking this whole thing like I'm taking it seriously, but they're taking it very, very, very seriously, like where they're like super afraid of everything.
Yeah.
So what we did was we went and got tested all on the same day so we could just do like maskless hangs. And it has been the best. It feels normal again. So I'm just like, maybe that's the way to do it if everyone just can like just go get tested one day and then like 2 days before and then like be cool that Wednesday and then like just go for it and you have like a regular Thanksgiving.
Right. I think we're gonna have it with just like our just our family. Like family members who are taking it serious, not like super serious, but like just have a distance, maybe eat outside.
Yeah. That'll be a fun thing to do. I mean, not for people who live in colder climates.
Yeah.
Or it could be maybe if you have like heat lamps and shit like that. I guess that would be fun. But
I just don't think it's smart to like we're gonna have Thanksgiving at Aunt Janet's house, and now everybody fly from across the country to come have that. Is stupid to me.
Right.
That's dumb. I feel like Friendsgiving is kind of toast this year.
Yeah.
Because people are living their lives. Like I have some friends who are living their lives like way too much.
Yeah, me too.
Where you're looking on Instagram and you're like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Nothing happened. You're doing shit that you weren't even doing before quarantine.
Yeah.
You're having orgies? You were never doing orgies before. And now you're trying.
Adamant about them?
You're like, there is a plague outside. We're all aware of that.
Yeah. It is strange to see people like going to restaurants with groups of friends doing shots like out in public. I'm like, what in the fuck are you doing?
But it's outside, right? They're all outside.
Yeah, but it's like you catch a buzz off of 2 drinks, a lot of the social distancing and like that just goes to the wayside.
Yeah, I saw people like right around the corner I live in Glendale. There's a hookah bar that is constantly full, but I remember walking past it before this and I'm like, wait, you guys have all taken up hookah as a hobby now? Like the worst time to be sharing like
that was gross before.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the only time I was ever present with germs like before this.
For sure.
Yeah, let's all sit in a room where we're only exhaling on purpose. Like, let's fucking
Yeah.
sit in
It's
that.
like packed. There's a line out the door to wait to do hookah during this. I'm like, that's like the one place that shouldn't be open right
Yeah.
now.
For sure. Anything where it's you got this and then this. and
Oh.
that, just close down any retail where you got this is the movement.
Yeah. Yeah, my during my route for my walk, I walk past a hookah place, and then there's like a cigar place in Glendale on Colorado that like I just see like old Armenian men smoking cigars indoors, and I'm like, hey man, if you get it, you probably want it at that
They
point.
don't care.
He died doing what he loved.
Yeah, no, I went out to eat I think I've eaten out twice since this is all went down. I went to Ginya.
More than DJ Khaled.
Yeah, that was a callback. It took me a second. I was like, wait a second. I was like, oh yeah, that motherfucker said he doesn't go down on his wife. Like, that's such a childish thing to say. Like, you're a grown ass man and you're bragging about that. Like, it's not. Come on, you're not 16 years old when it was cool to do that. Everyone knows you're a man. Do your wife a favor and go down on her. I mean, maybe he's bad at it. Maybe she prefers he doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he uses teeth. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
He just shouts another one into her vagina.
another one. I went to Ginya with Nat on Friday. That Ginya, have you ever been there, Sean? It's on 3rd Street. And
No.
It's a sushi ramen place. And
okay.
the sushi's really good, and they have a vegan ramen that is like life-changing.
They have one in Studio City as well.
I don't trust the other locations. There's one right by my house, and it's good, but it's not as good. And Nat has one by her house in Santa Monica, and it is not good.
Huh.
So I don't trust. And I've been to one in DC, and it was not as good. It was good, but it wasn't as. This one, I think, is the spot.
So wait, which is the one that you like the most?
3rd and Crescent.
All right.
Yeah, no, and they got regular ramen too, but the vegan, even meat eaters are like the vegan one is their favorite. So like, it's amazing.
So it's a good happy hour spot too. We would
Yeah.
go there all the time.
Yeah. So they have all the outdoor seating. We had to wait. We made a reservation, and we had to wait maybe another like 20, 25 minutes to get seated, but it's worth it. I highly recommend it.
The eating outside spot that has surprised me most in the pandemic is Applebee's. Like, I'm pretty blown away every time I drive by Applebee's and see people are sitting outside to eat Applebee's. It's like,
I'm
wow.
always surprised when I see people at Applebee's.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys not know that there's other
restaurants here.
Yeah. So wait. So wait, there's people who are willing to risk it all.
Yes.
Applebee's.
Yeah.
For the
some
Jack Daniels
jalapeno
chicken.
poppers. Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, they do have half-priced appetizers after like 9, which is, I mean, it's a good deal.
Get them to go.
Which, the COVID thing, it makes me so mad because it's like when I still see people like eating so poorly, like that's not a factor. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what gets me angry. It's just like, I'll see the line at In-N-Out being around the corner. Like, you guys are willing to wear masks and you're willing to do this and this and this, but it's like, but your health doesn't even come into consideration at all. But that's why I'm so happy and proud of both of you, especially you, Sean, because, that was a life-changing thing that you did. Switching up your diet and realizing, I need to fix something because my health actually has something to do with the reason why people are getting sick and dying.
Yeah, that was super troubling when you would read that online, and I'm just like, fuck. And then it was like, enough is enough. Let's do that. Let's change that up. And then now in my head, when I see those people outside of In-N-Out, I'm like, this is their cheat day.
And I'm like,
and that's why Sean is is the vice president or the president of the nice comedian group. The nice guy comedian. He only thinks the best of people. Everyone is having their cheat day at In-N-Out today.
Yeah.
If I would think that too if I didn't see that line being that length all the time. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's cheat day every day.
Literally every single In-N-Out in this entire city has just like a 4-hour line outside of it.
It's
every
crazy.
time.
Every day. And I mean, Chick-fil-A, I feel like is the same way. That's another one that I would be like, there's always a line. Are
At
you
least-
guys, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, at least we all know that In-N-Out is like the cleanest of the fast foods. Like they're making.
Is it though? Do we know that for a fact?
It's never frozen meat, and the vegetables are cooked there, or
Oh, okay.
prepared at the location. The potatoes are real, so it's not like McDonald's.
It's to order. It's to order too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean McDonald's.
Who
What
knows?
you see is like who knows?
Yeah.
You guys,
Their whole thing is illusion. That's all they want.
it is. I do not eat McDonald's. Do not eat it.
People
not.
that eat at Applebee's love McDonald's though. That's their vibe.
That is true, but everyone needs to stop eating McDonald's. Like, just
I-
stop. The chemicals that they put in there, just stop. You might as well just be eating plastic.
I just have to say, their
I
spicy
know
McNuggets.
what you're gonna say. I know
Their
what
spicy
you're gonna say.
McNuggets are my favorite thing in quarantine.
Everyone
I love them.
has the same argument, Sean. Everyone has that one thing, like Troy Walker. But the Big Mac, Candice, is something in that Big Mac, and I'm like, I know it's called chemicals, and they design it to make you crave more of it. But
It's a special sauce, Candice.
But please stop eating it. McDonald's is literally the worst, probably the worst one of all of them.
I think
What?
the only thing I get at McDonald's is the ice cream cone, because it's $1 and it's like the perfect amount of ice cream in a little waffle cone.
It is. I used to work at McDonald's when it was my first job when I was
Really?
16. Yeah. I mean, this was back when I was 16, so I was like, I just wanted to work there because my friends worked there. So I was like, I'll go and check this out. And then I job abandoned it. I've job abandoned so many jobs when I was a kid. I'm not proud of it.
Oh, I did that all the time. Like I did that at a Chili's. I was there for like what? Chili's is the worst too because I trained as a busboy and you don't get paid for training. So I just got like one free meal and then never went back.
They don't pay you to train you?
They don't pay to train you. So I washed disgusting dishes for like 4 hours and then ate chicken crispers and never went back.
Did they at least try to contact you?
Oh yeah, no, they called like so much the next day because listen, free labor. They were like,
Like, where did our slave go?
That's funny.
I was
Hey Sean, you were on the schedule to come in today, Sean. We're missing you down here at Chili's.
I abandoned a job at a frozen yogurt place. I worked at a frozen yogurt place when I was in high school. My girl that I was working with was like, she took off, she had scheduled off for the weekend, and I hadn't. I was scheduled to go in, and she was like, I'm gonna go visit my mom in Tennessee. And she was like, you wanna come? I was like, okay. So I just went with her, didn't show up for my job. McDonald's, I job abandoned that one because they called me in at 6 o'clock on a Saturday when I was not scheduled to work. So I did that, but as I was working, I was like, oh, this is my last day. Never went back.
Wait, how big was the frozen yogurt place?
How good was it?
How big was it?
Oh, it was a freestanding.
Was it a 2-employee place, like the person that owned it?
Oh yeah, it was like.
perfect.
Oh yeah, it was like a chef between me and my girl, and that was it. Like, that's it.
Candice was covering the girl going on vacation so the business could be open. And Candice decided to go on vacation. And people didn't get their yogurt.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they had to close that day because of me.
Hey, Bob, why is your frozen yogurt stand closed today? It's not closed. Candice is working. Oh, I
She's
think I saw
not.
her headed down Route
Just
66
drove
to
by.
Tennessee.
She is not there.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap this up, but I did want to ask you guys, it was Amazon Prime Day earlier this week. Did you guys partake or did we not pay attention?
I did not. Carlene did. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my wife's hobby during quarantine is she started making candles. And I think she might have ordered something off of Amazon. I did not partake in it. But here's the thing. I like that Amazon created Amazon Prime Day and did it a month before Black Friday. I think that is I mean,
he's a villain. He's such a super villain. Fucking Jeff
that's
Bezos.
why he's so rich.
That's why he's so rich.
He found every angle.
Every angle. It's everywhere. It's fucking everywhere. You can't escape Amazon. I was at Whole Foods the other day and they're passing out a knapsack to a clear knapsack that says Amazon Prime on it. And I'm just like, I don't want this. Smacked it out of his hand. They were just giving it away complimentary. I was like, I don't want to advertise this. Get out of here.
But it's free, though. It's free, Candice.
It was free.
It's
it's
the
still in my
only
trunk.
free thing you're going to get at Whole Foods. Here, take this.
No, I know. You're right about that.
Everything else costs money at Whole Foods. You want that bag? Give me some money.
Whole Foods has changed now that the hot bar is not there. It's not the same.
Oh, it does suck a little bit because the hot bar is the best.
It was everything.
Like I would say Whole Foods hot bar, a top 5 restaurant in any town you're in.
Yeah, and now it's gone. So now they still have the pizzas and like the sandwich place, but what are you saying, Mel?
I was gonna say it has a little something for everyone there. You could eat healthy at the bar, or you could eat mac and cheese like every day if you want.
Yeah, yeah, and I would dabble in a little of everything. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna get some unhealthy this, I'm gonna get some healthy this, and I'm gonna put it all in the same box. The only thing that I didn't fuck with there was their soup. Their soups were disappointing to me.
There was one good soup, I think.
Which one was it?
I want to say it was like one of the mushroom ones I really liked, and I would walk there every day and just get the one soup.
Yeah.
The way they get you Whole Foods at the hot bar, the weighing your food, you never think of how much your food weighs as you eat it. So you're like, yeah, I'll get a little bit of this, and then it's like, we'll take $57, please.
And you're like, oh, for like one meal. You're like, oh, I gotta make this 3 meals today.
Yeah.
Because it plays into like the buffet mentality where you're like food doesn't cost anything but $9.99. So
They do. They trick you. They make it look like a buffet. It's not a buffet because you can't come back. Oh well, one of the casualties of COVID was and I hear it's never coming back.
Really?
I think it's never coming back.
I don't know. Like, I think someone will write a letter.
Oh, some white woman is drafting one right now.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, but like at the same time, like my worry about everything is how is anything ever going to come back? Like we had this like wonderful ignorance about like germs and stuff, like with everything we did, and now I'm just thinking like of all the times I've been outside and like if I've seen somebody cough and how I'm like, oh, I feel it trickling down my throat right now. Like,
immediately. You're like,
I feel like psychologically we're just gonna be broken to the point where no one's ever gonna shake a hand again.
You guys,
no one's ever.
I'm gonna cut you off right there because that's what they want. I have to keep saying this because people are still watching the news thinking, oh, this is true. Deaths have dropped dramatically. Cases keep going up, but deaths have gone way down and have been dropping for months. Stop being terrified. Wash your hands, keep your distance, wear your mask, be cautious, but don't be terrified. It literally still has a 0.3 death rate. Okay,
Yeah.
the people that are dying are definitely still the old people and the immunocompromised. We should care about them, but we shouldn't lose our minds over it because it literally is not. It's a virus, but we're gonna get over this. We're gonna be fine. But don't be terrified. That's what they want. They want to keep scaring you into getting that vaccine. But just be careful. That's all it boils down to. Just be careful. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Candice, you should have an app where people could just press a button and hear that. Like, if I hear that every day, I will be so much calmer in my day-to-day life.
But I'm telling you, that's what they want. They're not telling us the truth. It's the cases are going up, yes, but they're not saying the same way that Chris Christie didn't die, the same way that Trump didn't die. They tried to make it sound like these people are gonna die. They're not, they're fine. Like, yes. And I heard there was a whistleblower chick who said that it has a link to the flu vaccine that people took. So like the people that are dying are people who took flu vaccines. So I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I started thinking about it. I was like, yeah, I can see that too. Like, it makes sense as how it's affecting so many different age groups, but definitely more old people. But I was like, I could see that being a link for sure. So everyone just be smart, but don't lose your fucking mind. It's fine. There've been pandemics before and we will survive and everything went back to normal and the same thing will happen again. Except the Whole Foods hot bar. I don't know if that's
Candace said everything was coming back. Now get the mac and cheese out here, please.
But I hope that everyone took this time, and I know a lot of people haven't, but took this time to like you guys did, find something new, find something, change your life. Do this happened for a reason. And people are learning about themselves and becoming better and different people through this. And so it's like, take that, stop focusing on all the bad, but use this as an opportunity to do something good. And you guys did that. So I'm proud of both of you. That's all. All right. We're out of time. We are out of time, but I thank you for tuning in and watching. If you guys have not subscribed, make sure you do that. We're on all podcast platforms. I'm posting on my YouTube channel now too. Rate and review us on iTunes. And if you have not told someone about this podcast, make sure you do that. Jokes by Candace on social media. One more time, Mal, where can people find you?
Mal Hall on social media.
Mal Hall and Sean O'Connor for being a fantastic guest.
Yeah, Sean O'Connor, thank you so much for having me. This is great.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited that you were able to do this, but and I'll have you back whenever you want if you ever want to come back.
Of course.
All right, guys, till next time. Bye.
Later.